Hey all, double 1-8 set Shadow here. So, let's go over today's market watch. A little bit shorter than Sundays, and as I mentioned before, I will not be available for making new content for the next 2 weeks, as I'll be unavailable during that time. The same will be said of my current stores on TCG Player and eBay, so if you are looking to pick something up, I'm most likely going to be closing everything up temporarily starting tomorrow. So if there is anything you're interested in, then tomorrow is probably your last day to get anything in during that time. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the market watch. The first item is one of the biggest TDRs that you can pick up from the Shikiote starter deck, Granorindo of Daybreak Autumn. This card is able to call a plant token and can call itself from rearguard whenever you make a plant gauge. It used to be in the 20s, now it's got a listing as low as $10. In fact, it's got a few listings as low as $10. Market price is currently around 26, and when it comes to its sale history, this card hasn't seen any sales since about mid-October, where that sale was about $15. All the other ones came from September timeframe when this card was released and ranged from about 25 to 30. But ultimately, this card has fallen out quite a bit. And now we're going to be talking a bit more on Lyrical Monasterio, especially given that Bushiroad gave us quite an announcement today for one of their new archetypes. So before we go into more details about that, let's talk about a card that did get some new support for us in our recent tournament packs. Enduring Beauty Herminia is currently out of stock on the double frame rare and still has a good amount on the triple rare right now. This is a card from the fourth lyrical set, Trick or Trick, and it's currently around $1 to pick up for its triple rare. If you want to pick up the LSR, it's currently around $130, while the market price on the double frame rare is currently $26. Another support card that's a frame rare, also from Lyrical Set 4, is Pumpkin Breeze Libida. It's a grade 1 that can return cards to your hand and also adds more shield value. There's only one listing right now on this frame rare, and over the last 3 months, we've only seen it sell in August for $4 to about $5, and the only listing left is basically a $6 card when you consider shipping. There's another card for Siana that's a frame rare and also short on listings. In fact, we're seeing a lot of frame rares from this set just short on listings in general, so it would be a good idea to take a look at this set in general for frame rares if you're looking for them. But there's Wonderful Wand Ruiboa, which only has 2 listings right now and has a base of $8. The market price has fallen out and is close to $4, and we saw a good amount of sales of this. Well, I guess it was all on the same day, probably one buyer, at around $3 to $4 a piece, and we're basically looking at $8 for this card overall right now. Now, the big card to talk about for today is also from Trick or Trick. It's One Night Witch Strega. Bushiroad announced a new archetype for the upcoming winter set, and the whole archetype is based around Dragonroids. I wasn't really paying attention to this too well. I completely overlooked that One Night Witch Strega is a Dragonroid. I thought it was a demon, given that, 1, it's in Trick or Trick, and 2, well, I just immediately thought, it's a demon, nothing to think about. But no, all my copies just got bought out today at almost the current price, which is $49. And there are 3 listings right now on this card. Market price is currently around $30. The double frame rare is available for $100 right now, with a market price of around $51, and the LSR is currently available for $250 and a market price of about $155. So, yeah, unfortunately, not only is this card already bought out to such a high price, I'm afraid I have another piece of bad news for you. For those of you who were thinking to go for the Coral reprints, I'm telling you right now, hold your horses. You will not get the same kind of value out of it. This new archetype that Strega is getting bought out for is specific to Dragonroid support for Lyrical Monasterio. So if you're looking at the Koro Koro cards, like Shop Regular Girls Rina or Akujiki-san no Gohan, both of these substitute for One Night Witch Strega's name, but neither of them are Dragonroids. Therefore, they will not have the same effect. They will not get the same overall support as if you played the original Strega in this new archetype. So you cannot use these as substitutions. It's the same kind of thing how where Sergaion got reprinted in Koro Koro, but the new reprint is not considered a high beast. So if you were going to use Sergaion in the high beast tamer deck, you would not be able to use the Koro Koro version to its full extent. So unfortunately, that's a factor, and you would have to pick up the original Strega in order to maximize your potential for the deck. But it's not just Strega that got bought out. Sigh of Relief Fabiola. This is just a common heal trigger from Lyrical Set 2. Now, it looks cheap on paper from the low of the common at 27 cents, but if you take a look, the market price is currently 70 cents, and there are no copies of the holofoil right now. And I'll have you take a look at this too. There are 4 listings left with a base of $3. And today we had... It's not even done. Okay, that is a long list of sales for today where this card has been moving from a range of 25 cents to $1 to even $3 for some lightly played copies. So I don't know if this is all just one person or multiple people going after this, but keep in mind this heal trigger is a Dragonroid. So that is what's prompting this buyout right now, and this card is now a baseline of about $3. It's a common again, and comes from Lyrical Set 2. And of course, there's also Determined Cheerfulness Sarka, which is also a Dragonroid and a perfect card at that. This one still has some overall under dollar listings available, and I don't think it's been bought out to the point that Fabiola did. There are 22 listings at the moment, but there are still quite a few sales of this card today from 25 cents all the way to almost $2. For its availability, there is still consolidation around 40 cents right now with 22 listings there, and there are some more around 50 cents. So this one hasn't gotten bought out nearly as much. If you are intending to pick these up, they're still cheap enough. But the SP is also bought out to the point of only one listing available for about $32. But some good news on that front. I believe Loving Pink Francette has gotten an announcement for a reprint in the upcoming winter set for Lyrical Monasterio. Being a card from DivineZ 2, Illusionless Strife, that is incredibly welcoming as if you've been watching my market watches for a while, you know that this card is badly short printed in comparison to a lot of other cards. However, there are 25 listings on the market ever since the fallout of decks like Kyoka or Fennel, which were originally using this card to a high extent. And even Lisferia may have considered this. Chris Rain is getting new support for this too, but it didn't really increase the value that much. And now that we're potentially getting a reprint, that should at least hold it a bit longer. Its availability, we've got a few of them for $30 right now, and then they slowly move on upward to $35 for the front page, but there are a good amount of $32 listings as well. For its sales, we have been seeing a few that have been moving over October in the $32, $30 range. So with a reprint upcoming, there is a good possibility that we could see this fall out a little bit more, but we aren't getting that set until next year, January. So there are still a few months if you need this in the interim. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you again in a few weeks.